sounding familiar? Not really, right? I don't think so. December I did it, but cool. I just figured it might be a good idea to get our eyes on it again, especially being that, is anyone else noticing more and more connections, like as the days go on? You feel like you're always being
Yeah.
yeah, right? So what we want to do, obviously, is like teach you guys just skills to be better equipped. I was on a coaching call last week with an agent who was stressing that like she felt bombarded, almost like she was kind of dealing with too many current, like too much current business now, and she didn't really know how to juggle it all. And that's what got me thinking, like, hey, I think we need to understand where to prioritize our time, right? So that whatever you are doing in that time frame is super efficient, right? Because listen, guys, I'm going to be honest. I never worked 40 hour work weeks selling real estate. And I hit six figures my first full-time year, right? And that was because, and Anthony can probably attest to this. You guys can hear me, right? Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. No, I didn't know because Hamid is having issues um hearing me. I worked like 20, 25-hour weeks, guys, and I was able to do that because my morning time was so proficient, right? Like I was in the office first every morning. Not that you guys have to be in an office, right? But I was showing up before everybody else. When everyone would trickle in at like 10:30-ish, right? I had now gotten 2.5 hours of friggin' prospecting time in, unbothered, right? Quiet silence. I had the time to do it because I made it a priority. So being that we're seeing more and more connections come through, right? We're getting busier and busier. Now we have to be even more efficient with the time that we do have. Do we all agree? Yeah, right. Well, great. So let's get started. Cool. You guys wouldn't know what time blocking is, right? If you look at the picture that I have here, right? This is what most people do. 8 a.m. to 8:15. They're on social media, right? 8:15 to 9 o'clock. I don't know. Maybe they're watching YouTube. Who knows? Maybe they're sitting in a training, right? But it's always very reactive. You're getting a text message, you're checking your phone, right? An email just showed up about an inspection request, about inspections. You feel like you have to answer it right away, right? So how do we keep from inundating our day, right, by everything else that we can easily be reacting to, and set aside a time where like it's just better to handle that business? This is how we do it. I'm gonna mute you guys just so it's easier. Okay, cool. So you see what most people do here, right? You guys can all see my screen again, right? Cool. What most people do here, but this is what time blocking looks like, right? So your morning time, you see how there's like 3 hours of time set aside, right? This time for agents, right, would be either your follow-up time, this is your prospecting time, right? This is the time that you're taking connections with Opcity, or this is the time if you're on Zillow Flex, right, that you're dedicating to that one action item, right? So this would be your prospecting time, new connection time, follow-up, right? Getting back to emails, whatever. Then you have obviously a time where you can respond to your emails, right? We don't have to be responding to our emails as we're trying to circle dial. Would you agree? We don't need to respond to our emails as we're taking connections, right? So set aside a time to get back to people, right? Really be smart with your time. Take a lunch. You should always schedule your lunch in there, right? And then anything else, if you have showing appointments here, or if you have a home inspection here, right? And then you leave this open for showings. If we block off our time, we can go really, really fast, right, during our day. So it says right here, right, instead of keeping an open-ended to-do list of things, just things that you have to get accomplished, right? This way you'll start each day with a concrete schedule, and then you'll know exactly what to prepare yourself for the next morning. Cool. Tim, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Cool. Can you read this slide?
Sure. With days that are time blocked in advance, you won't have to constantly make choices about what to focus on. All you need to do is follow your time block schedule. If you get off task or distracted, simply look at your schedule and get back to whichever task you blocked off time for.
So with a show of hands, can anybody on this call, and I want you guys to all participate, right? Tell me that there was a time where you were like, I don't even know, there's so much that I could do as an agent. I don't even know where to start. Who has ever felt like that? I can't. All right. So pretty much everybody, right? This is how we stay ahead of that so that we can be more efficient, right? I know I keep saying that. That's like my favorite word when it comes to this, because guys, you can make 6 figures working 35-hour weeks, right? 25 to 35-hour weeks if you are efficient with your time. So that's what this whole training is about, because I want you guys to do that, right? I want you guys to get some of your time back so that you can plan accordingly. So Hamid, can you see my screen? Can you read this slide?
Of course. When you schedule a chunk of time to work on a single project, problem, or task, you bring all your mental resources to bear on one thing rather than spreading your attention thin across several tasks. The more you single task, the more you build the mental muscle required for deep work, and the easier it becomes to stay focused.
Remember the previous slide? It said like, hey, if you find yourself getting off task or easily distracted, right? Look at your calendar and like reset your mind. Wait, okay, hold on. Let me get back to doing what I was doing. Anyone else feel like they have like adult ADHD? like
Definitely.
oh, butterfly. And you're like, suddenly you're mopping the floors, personally, mopping the floors while you're on a call with a client, right? Like, so the best way to like get out of that is literally to train your brain, right? Block it off in your calendar. Hey, my 8 a.m. to 10 o'clock is my follow-up, and I'm checking my Zillow app, right? Checking to see what homes these clients were looking at. How am I going to get in front of them, right? Dedicating that time every day. Put it in there, right? Build it in. Because if you build it in, when you sit in front of it, guess who now is your boss? Your calendar. What's on your calendar? If it's not on your calendar, it doesn't exist, right? Like, so when I tell you you have to build in time for social media so that you're super efficient with your day, right? We have a lot of tasks that we could do. There's a lot of prospecting activities we could focus on. We gotta be awesome in social media, right? We gotta be great with our follow-up. We gotta call our listing agents. Like, whoa, there is so much we could do, right? So how do we stay more focused? So what are the things I should be time blocking for? Chris, can you read just the stuff in bold?
Lead generation, lead follow-up, admin, getting organized, meetings, trainings, professional development, yoga, family time, free time, and any special occasions.
Yeah, like make your morning very business heavy, right? Because you're waking up, you got your coffee, right? You know that you have stuff that you have to do. Put all of your lead gen, your follow-up there, your administrative stuff, right? If you know that this might not happen, but if you know that you have to get an offer in, right? But you got a few days, really build in time to write your stuff like that, or check your files to make sure that you have your pre-approvals loaded, and all of the administrative stuff, right, that you need to get out of the way. Put it in there, put it in your calendar. 30 minutes doesn't take more than 30 minutes, right? Obviously you guys time block for our meetings and stuff, but even professional development, like read a book, listen to a podcast, right? Block off that time. That's time for you to be better, right? And it's super important, because if you're constantly growing and constantly pouring into yourself, your business is going to show for it, right? So put in your workout time there, your yoga time. If you meditate, oh my goodness, do that, right? If you have plans this weekend, block it off, because guys, there's so much that can happen. You do need to respect your stuff too, right? Like you can't always be doing business stuff, because your workout schedule matters, and the wedding that you have this Saturday matters too, right? Or, hey, you know what? There's a book I really wanted to list. That matters. Make it a priority and put it on your calendar. Cool. All right. This is so silly, right? But people really don't know where to start. And it literally starts in something as simple as your morning routine, right? Waking up at the same time every morning, right? Especially if it's Monday through Friday. Saturday, sleep in, give yourself some grace, right? But if you wake up at the same time every day, it sets the tone for the rest, like really how the rest of your week goes, right? So get out of bed, stretch, eat breakfast, right? Anybody else do like mindful reflection in the morning of like, hey, what's on my agenda? What's on my to-do today? What are my priorities? Like in the morning, anybody set their like headspace right?
I
Yeah,
try.
you try, we all try and sometimes we fail, right? But yeah, setting that expectation for how the day is going to go, that helps a lot. And it sounds so simple. Like get up, make your bed, make yourself a cup of coffee, and review your to-do for the day, right? That's a jump start. That's how we get trained into doing these things. Your lead gen, right? We kind of talked about that big chunk of time, because this is really like the bread and butter between your lead gen and your follow-up. That's your bread and butter right now, right? So this says here, like if you're an outbound caller, right? This is the time you'll spend actually making phone calls, knocking on doors. If you have an open house, right? Like they say you should door knock 10 blocks one way and 10 blocks another way of all of those houses for that open house, right? That's lead generating because you're getting your face in front of people, right? Or digging into whatever strategy you're hoping will introduce you to the most people, right? Sometimes, guys, there's some people who goes to the gym. Anybody go to the gym? Go to a place like often where you're seeing the same faces? Guess where you can lead generate? On the elliptical. Like literally, I know somebody in my old office. She went every day at the same time, right? And so did the people that she was in the gym with. They got to know her. And once they start talking, does real estate come up in conversation with everybody? Are you finding that everybody is talking about real estate all the time or at some point? Yeah. And if you're at the gym and people are talking to you, they're introducing themselves, real estate's going to come up. They see you every day. Guess who they're going to come to when they have a need, right? That's lead generating, just talking about it, right? So make the time to do that. Lead conversion time, right? So this looks like essentially right where you spend your time making and keeping appointments with your leads. So that's looking at their most viewed properties, right? Recently viewed, and calling that listing agent just to find out about it so that when we're going to go connect with them, we have something to tell them. Like use that time. That's conversion time, making appointments, right? Calling listing agents, calling your clients. Hey, I saw this really great property. I think it might work for you, right? That's your lead conversion time. That is where we should be spending a lot of our time as well, right? That's where deals happen. So that includes like your pokables, right? Getting people kind of out there, letting them know like, hey, I still exist. I'm a realtor and I know that you have needs, right? Here I am, staying in front of them, right? Following through on promises. So if someone asks you, hey, I'm really curious about what my home would sell for, right? This is the time to do that. Set aside in your calendar, create that CMA, right? Whatever it takes to get the business done, you should be spending most of your time doing that. Do we all agree? Yeah, right. Calling FSBOs, for sale by owners, right? Hey, can I run an open house for you? I would absolutely love to show the home, so that you can take the day off and I can give you all the feedback. That's lead conversion, which by the way, is a really awesome marketing way to just get your foot in the door, right? If there's a for sale by owner and they're like, hey, I don't want to pay you, I'll do your open house for free, because any buyer that comes through, guess who I'm going to work with? It's a win-win, right? So cool. And admin stuff, right? This is answering any emails, any texts, right? Getting that CIS, signed to send to Helen or whatever it is. It's also a great time to schedule any follow-up tasks. So if your client said, hey, you know what? Let's touch base Friday. I really want to go out Saturday. This is the time to do it, right? Any of those tasks that you need to do for yourselves, which I feel like you guys have gotten into a routine, right? Of checking your tasks. realizing that those are things that have to be done. Yeah, build in that time. Follow Up Plus doesn't know that you're doing those tasks, right? Check them off. Use that time to check them off. This is going to sound so silly, but you should be time blocking for meals. Like we're talking all the time, and we're always giving our energy to people, right? We need to take that half hour to an hour, whatever you guys like, right? So just decompress, refuel, get yourself a cup of coffee so that you are prepared to take on the afternoon, because your afternoon might have a lot of showings, right? So you do want to block off any like date nights too that you have with your spouse or your friends, or lunch with your friends, right? Anthony can attest, we used to go to lunch all the time, right? We never time blocked for it, but make the time to do it, and it continues to stay a priority. All right, cool. So look at these examples, right? The day is literally broken up on Google Calendar. You can schedule things in 15-minute increments, right? You don't want to do that because then you have a lot of little things to do. But you see how these are like a literal block, right? Hour and a half, 2 hours, just for you to dedicate to do that stuff. And you're not doing as many things during the day as you are when you're being super reactive in this situation. Would you agree? Yeah. All right, cool. I think you guys get the idea. I hope that you guys do it, because it's really going to help you tremendously, and even lessen the anxiety and the thoughts that come with real estate, because there's so much we could be doing. So this is an idea of a schedule I followed for a long time. So I time block literally from 6 a.m. to 9 o'clock at night. I got my wake up, my meditation in there, right? My workout. And for me, that was like stretcher yoga, right? And then I get ready for work, drop the kids off, get ready, get to the office, right? Prep my call list. For me, that was FSBOs. Calling through a list of for sale by owners and being hung up on all that stuff. And but hey, it got me better on the phones, right? My outbound calls. So who did I have to follow up with, right? I was spending 2 hours to do that. I was looking through my CRM, looking at most recent activity, sending out the hot sheet, right? That's what I was taking that time to do, because those activities are conversion time, right? Then I had my admin time, 10:30 to 11. I would check my emails, right? For a half hour, I would do my follow-up calls if I had to, touch base with the listing agent, call our active bucket people, right? Or continue qualifying those in the qualified bucket. From 11:30 to 12, did more tasks, booked showings, previews, right? Like I put lunch in there. And I would leave my afternoon open for showings, right? Sometimes my kids would be picked up from school and come to showings with me, right? They were part of my schedule. 4 to 5 follow up with how those showings went, right? Hey, are we looking to put an offer in, right? We talk about that conversation all the time. Making that second appointment, you build that in. Dinner, any evening showings if possible, or anything else you might need, or if an appointment was missed, right? Reading and personal development. I literally built everything in there so that I knew exactly what it was that I had to do for this time block. Cool. Yeah, there's no such thing as a miraculous time management technique, right? Like we're all going to suffer, but if you put a little effort into planning out those days, it's going to bring you a lot closer, right? Step closer to closing 2 to 4 deals a month, because you're going to be more efficient. When you're efficient, you spend less time doing those same things, right? Anybody have any questions about this, or want to, like, I don't know, need me to show you a slide again to have ideas of what to build into your schedules?
I'm just dealing with the feel like as you noticed on the previous picture, there is like after hour after each hour. I miss a lot. I miss a lot of them. Like it's past, like it gets like 2 hours, 3 hours, and I feel so much guilt, and like I deal with that right now.
With the guilt of not doing the work?
Yeah, I'm missing the like a schedule.
Mm-hmm. And
So
the anxiety sets in, right? You're like, I'm not doing enough. Oh my goodness. The more another day that I don't do anything or I'm not doing enough brings me one day further from getting paid, right? Like that's how it would work for me. It'd be like, oh my God, I didn't do anything today. Now I'm not going to get paid for an extra day, right? Like that's how. And then it became to be too much. And I said, wait, I got to harness this energy. I got to have some type of game plan because if I leave it up to me, I'll go take a nap on the couch. You know what I mean? So, yeah, getting out ahead of that. If you want to take a screenshot of this is super helpful. It's also on the university too, guys. So it's always accessible for you. But I challenge you guys to really build out your schedules, right? And see what it does in your business. See if it makes a difference and stick to it. Like really stick to it. I'm sure everybody on these calls can get some of their time back. Would you agree? Yeah. If we're just kind of plugging it in where we need to, you'll see how much time you do have, and then you become a priority again. Because I know as an agent, man, you spin your wheels sometimes. You get real tired real quick, right? The way to combat that is to have a game plan for what your day is going to look like. So you're not wasting so much energy, right? Doing all of the things. I agree. Anybody have anything to say? It's been a very quiet training.
I have a question, but not about time blocking. It kind of, I feel like anyone could answer it. Is there a nice way to text one of your clients that they can look up houses by themselves for the cost of them?
What do you mean for the cost of them? Like, hey, it's on Zillow. This is what it's listed for. And she's asking
Well,
you.
Jasmine, like I told you, her mom has probably sent me close to 12 properties since Saturday. And I just want to be like, you're sending me the address. You can just look them up yourself to see the price of it.
Well, I am very good at this. And I would say, hey, you know what I always do to check those prices? I Google the address and it's usually listed right under the address.
Okay.
Literally, it's point blank, right? And you're hand walking them, but talk to them like they don't even know that, right?
Okay.
And then this way you can say, guys, remember that time I told you where you could Google that? Yeah, that still works.
Okay, I'm just gonna try it.
Anybody else have any questions about time blocking in particular? What things to focus on? Everybody knows. Everybody's gonna just like go out there and time block their whole calendar. And you're all gonna share it with me, right? So I can look at it. Yeah, right.
Can you send this this slideshow in Slack? Can you post it or make it available to us somehow?
Yeah, it's on the university. Do you have the access to the university?
It is. That whole slideshow is already in there?
Yeah.
Oh,
Mhm.
perfect.
It's also on the YouTube, guys.
Oh, yeah,
Home
that's
Buying
right.
Timeline, I believe it's called. Hold on, let's go here. Home Buying Timeline. Nope. What am I doing? Time blocking. Sorry. Home buying. I don't know what I was thinking that. See that right here?
Nice.
It's not here.
Uh-oh.
Oh no, it must be on the YouTube. Let me double check. I want you guys to have it because if not, then I absolutely will drop it in Slack. Join music group. And then we'll do time blocking. Really? Okay, it's not. So let's do this. Where should I do it in training?
That works for me.
Cool. I'm gonna drop it in the Slack training. Wait, nope, that's transactions. What? I hope it's clickable though. I wonder if it's because it's a shared drive. I don't know if it will be. I'll tell the admins though to do that. I'm gonna put a to-do list so that you
Okay.
guys can have full access to it. Cool.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Anybody else? No. Cool. Hey Dom, are you on this call?
Yep.
Oh, was this helpful for you?
Yes.
Very good. Also, guys, in here, you know how like we have dumpster fires where like you get a call from a buyer and like all hell breaks loose? Anybody else have that happen, or like the attorneys are fighting or something like that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, build in time in here to like deal with fires, putting out fires, right? And build out extra time so that 'cause especially if you have like more than one deal going, right? There's gonna be stuff that's weird about each of them. So build in time to get back to people, right? Even including your voicemail, people do this too. They literally say, if you're calling between the hours of 2 and 4, I'm probably on a showing, but I will absolutely get back to you after 6 tonight or something like that, right? So that it relieves the stress and anxiety off of you to have to get back to people right away, right? We teach people how to treat us, and that is to have respect for my own time, right? Because something's happening in your deal doesn't mean you have to derail my whole day. Do we agree? Yeah, I have other things planned. So build in the time to handle those things where you have to be really like reactive and try to keep it together. Cool. Awesome. I'm going to have the admins drop the time blocking training in the university and also in the training Slack channel. Cool. Thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
You
Yeah.
have a great day, everyone.